Well, thank you so much for talking today. This movie was so much fun. It's one of those movies where you're like, this can't get any more ridiculous. And then it does. So, like, is that how you felt when you read the script?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I didn't realize how ridiculous it was going to get based on all the improv. Um, no, it was honestly, that's what drew me to, I mean, they asked me to be a part of this movie. I couldn't believe it. Like, really me. I read about 30 pages of it and I was like, this is going to be one of the funniest movies. It's so Monty Python. It's so like next level of their comedy, which I already loved. Uh, just a very different version for them. And I was like, this is exciting. This is going to be exciting. It's going to get, and it's scary because you're entering a world where these guys have known each other and they're very comfortable for so long. Um, but they're so giving and warm and inviting that that dissipated very quickly for me.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, how was it? Because it feels like they're already so close. They've done so much together. And then do you kind of feel like that odd man out? But it sounds like they welcomed you right in.
No, they treat you like family. And I think Hef was really excited because Lemmy, Hef, and I got on Zoom after I, said yes. And I mean, right out of the gate, Lemmy insulted me, like my last name. And I just gave it right back to him without missing a beat. And Hef's like, yep, this is good. This is gonna be great. I was like, yeah.
That's so much fun. So I've got to ask you too, like the costumes, amazing. Like the outfits, can you just talk about putting those on? And
Oh my God. I mean, Kelly, the costumers, they worked so hard, and with, limitation. And look at those. I mean, those outfits are stunning. I live in Austin and it was during pandemic. So I got there and, had my fitting probably a week before we started. And almost everything was completely done, like, and fit, and was beautiful. And I was immediately like, I know who this person is. She's amazing. Like, it just puts you in that time period, in that time frame, and makes you feel like you're her.
I love it. And then you mentioned improv already. So like how much of this was the script? And then how does it just, I feel like it must completely like script out the window almost with these guys.
I mean, I don't know really, like, percentage wise what made the cut as far as like the improv and what was like the original script. But Hef has said in interviews we've done together that 80% of the trailer is improv, like that was not written. So we would always write what was on page, which by the way is hilarious. But then it was like, okay, we got it. Now let's, or somebody would add something and they'd be like, oh my God, and go from there. And it was just ping pong. And sometimes it got really weird. But sometimes it was just perfect. But it was just a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Oh, that's so, I can just imagine what it was like on set with these guys. Cause I mean, just watching the movie, you're like, I can't believe they're like going that far with this joke or something, you know?
Yep. Sometimes like our producer have to come in and he's like, reel it in, guys, reel it in. We got it. Time. Come on. Come on.
Do they break a lot or do they just like keep going in character?
Oh, I mean, they definitely break. They break. In fact, watching it, I'm like, I can see certain times I'm like, I might be breaking right there, or F's about to break. Like it's fun to watch. It's so hard not to laugh when something's funny.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I love their comedy anyway, and I was like, this sounds so intriguing. Like, and I actually had just watched Hunchback of Notre Dame with my family, like introduced my kids to it. So I was like, wait, this is perfect. Like, I can't wait to dive into this version of it myself. And I was like, what is going on? And it just keeps going and going and going. It's fantastic.
Yay.
So funny. It's so funny. But I'd love to know, like, for you, because they're obviously I think every single one of them does more than one character, right? I think so. So what is it like when you're in a scene with them and then like, do they kind of record one version like, and then another day do another one? Cause I can imagine the makeup has got to be.
A lot of back and forth. And that was really hard to do, like, especially for Hef, because Hef was directing. And sometimes he'd be playing both characters in the day. So he'd have to be in the trailer getting ready. Then Steve would have to take over directing a scene while they waited with the transition. And sometimes they go back and forth more than once a day. So it was pretty crazy. The hair and makeup team also insanely amazing. Everybody. work their ass off. It was great.
I can only imagine like going back and forth because some of their makeup is like pretty intense between what the other version of them is.
Exactly. Some of them look completely different.
Yeah, like I remember with the Jester, I was like, wait, is that him? Oh, it is him. Like, it's like it's crazy to me that they would do it in the same day.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you that Lemmy's worst day on set was being tarred and feathered. He was
Oh my
not a happy camper that day. I was like, hey, guy, you wrote this. You wrote this.
You put yourself in this situation. You're the one who did this to yourself. Oh, that's so funny. Like, how long of a day were you guys shooting them? Were you shooting like trying to use up as much time as you could in a day?
Yeah, I mean, usually you don't want to go over 12 hours because then it becomes, a union thing. And we were pretty good. I mean, I think we kept to the time most days. We made our days. It was a lot, but I never felt it because I just wanted to keep doing it. It was never that thing of like, I want to go home, I want to go to bed. It was like, I want to stay here and keep doing it. Like we can do this all night. This is so great.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I've gotta have been so fun. I can just imagine because like I said, just watching it, it's absolutely hilarious. So I guess it's safe to say that you would say yes if they invited you back to do another one of their films.
I would say, dear God, please invite me back. I would love to work with them always. So
You were so good. It was just it's just so great, everyone all together. So it's just so much fun. Do you have, I'm sure it's hard to pick, but like a favorite scene that you were filming?
Favorite scene. I don't know if there's a favorite scene. Probably the day with the horses. I love riding horses, and there are a couple scenes that didn't make it in there, like riding, but that was a really fun day because when they were all shooting, I got to just go ride
Oh,
the woods, and that was really fun. But every day was fun. I mean, the day in the dungeon, the weirdness when I'm I don't want to give away anything,
exactly what you're talking
but that was a really weird and awesome day. We had people just dying laughing. It was
about.
great.
It's so, man, you're making me want to watch it again now because I watched it like it was almost a week ago now, and I'm like, man, would definitely watch it again. Like, and that's what I love about their films, right? They're always, these Broken Lizard films are always ones that you're like, oh yeah, Super Troopers, like let's watch it. Whenever you think about it.
Uh-huh.
So, what does it feel like to know that now you're in one of these films that people are gonna be like, oh yeah, remember Quasi? Like, let's put that back on.
Oh, I hope so. I hope people. I think that Hulu's a great platform for this and streaming, and hopefully people can then watch it over and over and over again. You know what I mean? And on 420, obviously, because they'll probably have to watch it again to remember it. But I feel honored to be a part of it, and I hope that it does become a classic that people will want to watch over and over again and remember.
And remember, I love it.
I mean, I think it's pretty memorable.
It's I'm telling you, it just gets crazier and crazier. And like, I don't want to ruin stuff, but I'm sure you know what I mean. There's like stuff going on, then you're like, oh, I think she kind of likes them. And then you're like, oh, all right, we're gonna go there. Like, it's so great. It's so funny. And then there's that Frere Jacques scene, and I don't think you're in that scene.
No, I wanted to be, because they all play two different characters, and I had this, like, on set, I had this alter ego that I'd start talking like this is this guy. Like I was like, I can pull off a guy. They're like, I don't think you can. I was like, I think I can pull off a guy. And I wanted to be in that scene so bad, dressed as a dude, and see if anybody noticed, like almost like a Where's Waldo thing.
That would have been fun. They should have let you do that.
I know. They ran out of wigs and.
I guess that like actual good reasoning behind it all. So for anyone who's thinking like, what movie should I check out? Like, how would you describe Quasi to people besides insane?
Okay. If you love classic humor and you love Broken Lizard and you love an adventure, then this is the ride to go on, because you're not going to see it coming. You're going to be very surprised in a good way.
Yeah, and like that's exactly the best way to describe it. Because, like I said,
it's also a love story, so it is also like it is. I think almost broader than most. Like it can reach out to more of a broad audience because there is that love connection. It's not mushy, but it is a big part of that whole. And it's not just it's between friendship as well.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Oh, the whole best friend thing that like kept going on. I was like, oh, I love this. Would you think there's a way they could pull off a second one, like a sequel?
I hope so. Because, we could have I don't want to give it away, but yes,
Yeah, but
I think there's definitely a way to do it. Bring everybody back.
that would be so fun.
Uh-huh.
You should pitch it to them. Be like, listen, I have ideas. And then maybe you can play a guy in the background in that one.
Exactly.
That would be fantastic. Yes. Well, thank you so much for chatting with me today. Honestly, I thought this was so much fun. I could tell from the trailer it was going to be fun, but then, like I said, just kept going. And I was like, this is getting insane. And I love it so much.
Yay, thank you.
So thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank